You have sabotaged yourself, not once, probably dozens of times, in ways so quiet and so well disguised that you never even recognized it was happening. The relationship you ended right when it started getting real. The opportunity you didn't apply for because you told yourself you'd do it when you were ready. The habit you know is destroying you that you keep doing anyway at the exact moment you swore this time would be different. Here's the number that should stop you cold. Self-sabotage is not a rare personality flaw. Research shows the majority of people who fail to reach a meaningful goal don't fail because of outside circumstances. They fail because of a pattern running underneath their own decisions, a pattern they built, usually without ever knowing it, years before the moment it destroyed everything. One woman set out to understand exactly why intelligent, capable people consistently ruin their own lives at the exact moment things start going well. What she found wasn't a character flaw. It was a survival mechanism, built years ago, still running exactly as designed. Except now, the thing it's protecting you from doesn't exist anymore. Remember this phrase, the mountain is not external. Because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly which mountain you've been standing at the base of and exactly why you keep walking away from it right before the summit. Her name is Brianna Wiest. Her book, The Mountain Is You, is not another book about willpower or motivation. It's a book about why willpower and motivation were never actually the problem to begin with. Here's where it starts, and it's not where you'd expect. Self-sabotage isn't laziness, it isn't a lack of discipline, it isn't a character defect you were simply born with. Wiest argues that almost every act of self-sabotage is actually a form of self-protection, a defense mechanism your mind built at some point in your past, usually in childhood or a formative moment of pain, designed to keep you safe from something that genuinely threatened you at the time.
The problem is that the mind rarely updates these defense mechanisms once the original threat is gone. A child who learned that being seen, being visible, being successful made them a target for criticism or abandonment grows into an adult whose mind still quietly sabotages success. Not because success is actually dangerous anymore, but because some part of them never got the memo that the danger passed. This is why the smartest, most capable people are often the ones who sabotage themselves the hardest. It was never about ability. The system protecting them was working exactly as designed. It just never learned that the war ended. Sit with that for a second because it changes the entire conversation. If you've ever wondered why you can execute perfectly on things that don't matter and completely fall apart the moment something actually matters to you, this is why. Your mind isn't broken, it's running an outdated program with total precision. So what does this outdated program actually look like in real life? Wiest identifies several disguises self-sabotage wears, and most people never recognize a single one of them while it's happening. The first is procrastination that only shows up around your most important goals. You're not lazy in general. You're perfectly capable of doing hard, tedious things for other people, other deadlines, other priorities. The paralysis appears specifically when the stakes are the ones that matter most to you personally. That specificity is the giveaway. Real laziness is consistent. Self-sabotage is selective. The second disguise is self-limiting beliefs disguised as realism. I'm just being practical. I'm not the kind of person who does that. These sound like humility. They're actually a wall built brick by brick, each one designed to keep you exactly where it's familiar, because familiar, even when it's painful, registers to your nervous system as safer than unknown. The third disguise is comfort addiction. Not comfort in the simple sense of relaxing, comfort as a permanent operating state. Always choosing the option that requires nothing from you, even when you know with complete clarity that growth requires exactly the opposite.
And the fourth, the one Wiest says is the hardest to see in yourself, is emotional avoidance, mistaken for being fine. staying endlessly busy specifically so you never have to sit still long enough to feel whatever it is you've been avoiding for years. Productivity used not to build a life, but to outrun a feeling. Here's where most people watching this would nod, feel understood, and change absolutely nothing. Because understanding a pattern intellectually and actually dismantling it are two completely different things. Don't stop here. This is exactly the point where the real work begins, and it's the part almost nobody actually does. Wiest argues that the way out isn't more willpower thrown at the same broken system. Willpower was never the missing ingredient. It's what you keep trying to use to override a much deeper signal, and it will keep losing every single time because you're fighting the wrong battle. The actual solution starts with something deceptively simple: naming the specific fear underneath the sabotage instead of fighting the behavior itself. Stop asking, "Why can't I just do the thing?" Start asking a much more precise question: what does part of me believe will happen if I actually succeed at this? Sit with that question uncomfortably long, because the honest answer is rarely what you expect. It's rarely, "I'll fail." More often, it's something closer to, "I'll be seen, and being seen has never felt safe." Or, "If I succeed, I'll be expected to keep succeeding, and I'm terrified of that pressure." Or, "If this goes well, I might lose people who are used to me staying small." Once you find the actual sentence underneath the sabotage, something shifts. You're no longer fighting a vague, formless resistance. You're looking directly at a specific, outdated belief. And outdated beliefs, once they're actually seen in daylight, lose most of their power. They were only ever strong in the dark, running quietly in the background, unexamined. There's one more concept from Wiest that ties everything together, and it's the title of the book itself. The mountain is you.
Every external goal you've ever chased, the relationship, the career, the body, the achievement, Wiest calls these the mountain you think you're climbing. But underneath every external mountain is a second, invisible one, the internal work of becoming a person capable of holding what you're asking for. Most people spend their entire lives throwing effort at the external mountain, wondering why they keep sliding back down, without ever noticing that the real mountain, the one that was actually blocking them the whole time, was internal. You don't climb the external mountain by trying harder at the external mountain. You climb it by becoming, internally, a person the old fear no longer controls. The outer achievement was never actually the obstacle. It was always just evidence of whether the inner work had already been done. So here's how you actually use this, starting today. First, pick the one goal you've sabotaged the most times. Not the goal itself, the pattern around it. When exactly does the resistance show up? Right before a deadline? Right after a small win? Right when someone starts noticing your progress? That timing is data. Second, ask the deeper question. Not "why can't I do this?" but "what does succeeding at this actually threaten?" Write down the honest answer, even if it feels irrational, especially if it feels irrational. Third, do the thing anyway, in the smallest possible version, while the fear is still present. You are not waiting for the fear to disappear before you act. The old belief updates through evidence, not through thinking your way out of it. Every small action taken while afraid is proof to your nervous system that the danger it's protecting you from no longer exists. You have been standing at the base of a mountain, believing the mountain was the job, the relationship, the goal sitting outside of you. It was never external. It was the version of you still operating on outdated information, still protecting you from a threat that expired years ago. The mountain was never in your way. The mountain was you. And that means the same thing that has been standing in your way this entire time is also the only thing capable of finally moving.
If this hit you the way it hit me, tell me the goal you keep sabotaging and the moment the resistance shows up in the comments below. I read every single one. Stay with us.